Hi. So sometimes when Puppy and Mommy love each other very much, they decide to have some fun upstairs and make a good level. Wow, how wholesome. Then Uncle and Aunt get jealous and copy their homework. Sometimes this results in new masterpieces. Sometimes this results in Infinite Circles version 2. Today I'm interested in those levels. Of course, this could go any random way, so I've got some ground rules to get us started. Not Eker Hacker version 2! It has to be worse than the original! Any levels that are very obvious remakes count, so anything of the X variety, for example, will count on this list. Or anything that is directly referred to as a remake. If a level is just a strictly buffed version of the original, I will not put it on this list because that's really boring. Neither will I put any raw redecos on this list, so Sonic Wave Rebirth, for example, will not show up because it doesn't change enough. It has to be a proper attempt properly failed. Besides that, anything goes basically. Though these are all extreme demons, that wasn't really the rules. I'll just put that out there right now. Alrighty then, let's get crucified. Though most will f***ing hate this take, I really think that Sonic Wave Infinity is worse than the original Sonic Space Waster. Though you could argue Sonic Wave Infinity looks better, I've never liked how this level looks, really. In every single way, this level gets beaten by Auditory Breaker, which is like a decade old at this point. I'm not saying this is a remake of Auditory Breaker, but if there's an older remake that's so much better than you, like, come on, man. Of course, Sonic Wave Infinity is a super duper ultra difficult level, especially compared to the original already impossible Sonic Wave. I will only be talking about gameplay when I can point something obvious out, by the way. So for this level, the elephant in the room is this f***ing hitbox. Why did you put this in there? Why? It's so stupid! No, I will not be discussing the crash trigger drama, though it is very funny. On top of that, I will be using the Extreme Demon Enjoyment spreadsheet from now on, to check if a level is widely considered fun or not. This will usually not affect it that much, but it is a good benchmark to see what other people think of it. Wow, won't you look at that? Sonic Wave Infinity is one of the most hated levels to play by anybody ever. This is an example where I can use the list, even though Sonic Wave is also very low on there. I think showing that, you know, Sonic Wave Infinity is down here is a pretty good sign of how bad the gameplay is, even though I've not played it myself. I'd understand if anybody hates me doing that, but I really do want to take into consideration the opinions of people that can actually play the levels that I review, you know. I prefer the original Sonic Wave, I'm not gonna lie, which is like preferring the taste of poison to the taste of death. Either way, my resurrection experiment has succeeded. Just like a zombie, Necromancer is basically a worse thing of the thing it originated from. Due to brain trauma afflicted to the frontal lobe, there isn't much going on in Necromancer. There is too much wrong with this piece of shit, though I think it's already been beaten enough by, you know, other people. So it's basically like beating an already beaten dead horse at this point. Just so you know, it's just worse, harder Necropolis, and I already hated Necropolis, so that's not biased at all. This does start the trend of just adding a shitload of glow and saying it's a remake, though. There's a lot of levels on this list that do that. So yeah, even if you enjoyed Acropolis, this still probably will suck ass in comparison due to a lot of inconsistencies. But what if I put the level on mute? Solantium Grottos was a failure by design pretty much, considering it's remaking a piece of shit and taking away the one thing that made it special. It's just Silent Clubstep with boring decoration and noise. The thing that it ruins is the fact that the original Silent Clubstep is ultra super unbelievably difficult and somehow beaten by humans. This one is a lot less difficult, which takes away a lot of the things that are going for it. Of course, it's a good thing that now a level that is so influential is a lot more accessible, but come on, man. It doesn't help. On top of all of that, it just keeps the same balancing, which even though I agree it should probably keep the same balancing, like, the original was so bad to play, come on, man. This is a bad idea with equally bad execution, though at least it does take some creative liberties, which is something that 808X cannot say. Of all of the extremes I've beaten, this is my least favorite one, mostly due to the severe lack of enjoyment I got out of dying to the last ship. This is just a glowy version of 808 in pretty much every single way, though it's also buffed extremely badly. For some reason, the first cube is easier than the original, which makes this somehow an even bigger drag to beat. I also want to point out that for all of those people that get a lag spike during the start of the ship part, this 144 Hz joke has Yeah, for some reason this graphic has more objects than Comical Depression. Why? Why the fuck is this so object heavy? I could probably remake this 144Hz joke with like 20 objects. Why did this take you so many? So to pause this part, you don't really need a 144Hz monitor. You really just need a NASA computer to get through at a stable frame rate. Or you do what I did and just removed it. That's also a good possibility. I have somehow pretty much completely avoided talking about the gameplay so far, so I'll just put it like this. It's 8-0, but with all of its worst elements being at the forefront instead of the back. It's more unbalanced, frustrating, and buggy than its predecessor, which is quite the achievement. Thankfully, we have another remake that pretty much does the same thing, but doesn't improve the decoration. Acropolis is such a timeless classic at this point. Acropolis, on the other hand, is a mess. Nobody ever asked, what if Acropolis had shitty moving objects and a Koa-Reda difficulty beginning? So instead of taking that as a sign from the gods, they said f it and did it anyway. Yes, this is just aged Acropolis with garbage gameplay and balancing, but it does have some redeeming qualities. Okay, it really doesn't, but still. Somehow a remake even though every single element is degraded. Speaking of such, greetings. Bai is a high remake, which is once again asking for problems. Having only beaten high of these two, I can safely say that it's one of the most miserable things any organ user can ever put themselves through in regards to beating GD levels. It's a buggy mess gameplay-wise that is completely unbearable to play due to its long-ass pre-drop. Of course, most of you already knew that and are just here to see me shit on the even worse version, so let's do that instead. What High at least has is an original concept and atmosphere. If you take both of those away and fix some of the bugs, you basically get by. Of course, there are some decorative revamps, some gameplay changes, but they mostly just don't work in my humble opinion. Of course, that's personal preference, but I think the thing that makes High so good is the simplicity of it all, and this just overcomplicates a lot of stuff that didn't need overcomplication. I just suggest not giving this level any of your time, really. At least someone else stole the other moon. This is talking about the end level version, by the way, obviously not the hybrid version. So, yeah, don't crucify me just yet. As a fan of Phobos, seeing this just being a shitty remake of the original doesn't make me happy. It disappoints me, actually. At least it actually kept in the original duel, but that's really the least they could have done to improve the original Phobos. Besides the non-improvement, the remake parts just lose so much charm that Phobos already had. It's just sad to see that this ugly-ass part is being turned into something completely different and soulless. That really is what this entire level feels like. Soulless. The worst thing a level could be, in my opinion. Not funny bad, just super mediocre. What a disappointment. That's all the levels I wanted to discuss for now, though there are plenty more to discuss when it comes to wasting a good level to make it worse. But that's for next time.